Okay, The Water Divine, directed by and starring Russel Crowe. This is the man's directorial debut, and it makes for an entertaining but also flawed experience.
Not by what the world has done to them.
If you do find your son, what will you say to him?
Let's talk about Russell Crowe himself. I know the guy gets a lot of crap, but I thought he was good in this movie. He uses an authentic Australian accent, and his character feels like a realistically good person. He's a man who wants nothing more than to find out what became of his sons, and you're genuinely on his side. It's also interesting that he decided to direct it as well. Crowe definitely knows how to frame a shot because he uses that knowledge to treat the movie as a sweeping epic. For the most part, it works, but other times it seems a little overly dramatic. There are shots that pan over the sweeping landscapes, and some of them look amazing. The best example I can think of is when it shows the scorched, blackened landscape, making me think of the line, "War is hell." But then there's times when, as I mentioned before, it becomes a little overly dramatic. There's a scene where a British commander and a Russian commander are talking about the Battle of Gallipoli, and just as the Russian commander is about to leave, the British commander asks him how many soldiers were lost in battle. The Russian commander turns around, the camera zooms in on his face, and he says, "We lost 1,400 men." Yeah, subtle. The story overall is actually pretty good. As I mentioned before, you want to see the main character find his sons, but then there's some very well written subplots. As I was watching them, I was thinking, why are we focusing on these people now? But then later, the subplots do tie their way into the main story. There are those presentation issues I mentioned earlier, such as some of the scenes being overly dramatic. There's also some small plot points towards the end which didn't really make sense, but overall I think it's very well paced and keeps your interest throughout its 2 hour runtime. Overall, The War Diviner is ambitious, driven, and entertaining, it just suffers from lots of little things. Still, I do feel that it does accomplish what it set out to do. At the end, it has a message saying that it's dedicated to the nameless soldiers who either died in battle or were taken prisoner and perished later. It feels true to those words, so overall, pretty good.